Okay, there is always a lot of buzz around dupes. Like, what are dupes to be specific? In cosmetics, though, let me be more specific. There are dupes in so many aspects of life. Yeah? Okay, there are dupes in cosmetics. The very first blueprint, if I'm not mistaken, or rather, I would say the era in which I became a cosmetic formulator, the ordinary was the blueprint. I don't know if it makes any sense. Meaning that the ordinary was almost like the base foundation for most cosmetic formulators, if not all current cosmetic formulators. The ordinary brought out single ingredient listing that made it very easy for almost nearly everyone to understand cosmetics. Well, not everyone, but most um, people interested in cosmetics understood the concept. In the past, it was more of a cocktail that was pushed out there. So it's either your skin wants it or your skin doesn't. It's either your skin needs it or your skin doesn't. Okay, you have a cocktail where probably you might have vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin C in one product. But the ordinary came in and brought out specifics for us, which is a good thing, honestly, because to me, I saw that was the beginning of the reduction of probably allergic reactions to so many ingredients that a lot of people did not even know they were allergic to. And he made cosmetic science very simple. What do I mean by that? If you want to make a product, you want to formulate a product for acne purposes, it is very clear on what specific ingredients you would select from for the acne products. If you want to make a hyperpigmentation product, it is very clear what ingredients you would select from as a cosmetic formulator to formulate a product meant for hyperpigmentation. It makes a lot of sense, isn't it? Okay, but the thing was that some of the mistakes that the ordinary made, most cosmetic formulators also made that mistake, but that's by the way, after all. Mistakes are part of learning, but just try not to make too many mistakes over and over again. Okay. In cosmetic science, dopes are very, very popular. The thing about brands is the fact that even in fashion, there are some brands that are big up there, right? And they make their products, and it's not meant for everyone, it's meant for the bourgeois. But don't forget that we, the middle class or low earners, also want to enjoy the good things of life, also want to see luxury and enjoy luxury. Okay, but we cannot afford all of those luxuries, so therefore there are some dopes, more like copycat, abi, like more like okay, here in Nigeria they'll say, is it fake or original fake? We just play around like that with it. But basically, dopes are not something that for me I see them in a condescending light. I do not see them in condescending light. On this social media space, you could see a lot of professionals actually even pushing on dopes. There are some professionals that would, or rather some enthusiasts that do review, they would use this original product and then use the dope and come back and state it categorically clear to you that to them the dope did a lot of good. Yes, dopes will always do a lot of good. Like I stated from the beginning of this video, how most cosmetic formulators follow the trend of the ordinary. Then it was this sem or so. That was the first name or so, right? In fact, the history of the ordinary is long. That's by the way, but we know it today as the ordinary. Okay, so that we have a blueprint. Yeah, in that light. What do I mean that we have a blueprint? Let me give you an example. Now, this is my facial toner from my product line. And here are the ingredient list. There's water, there's rose water, there's licorice extract, there's a peptide in it, there's panthenol, there's glycerin, phenoxyethanol, disodium EDTA, citric acid. Now, basically, this is a very simple ingredient list. Like, that is how most of my products go. I go for simplicity. I'll call myself a minimalistic cosmetic formulator. I do not jam pack my products with unnecessary ingredients, honestly, and hence why it looks like the dupes are usually more simpler and narrowed down to the basics in order for it to be affordable over the luxurious item itself. I don't know if now I'm trying to say to you, over whatever product that has been duped, right? Because I wouldn't call it a luxurious product per se, because even the dupes have their own certain level of luxury, if you know what I'm trying to say to you. In some cases, the dupes might even turn out even better than the original product because, like I said, some brands are big on history, like they have a solid foundation that they are standing on. So therefore, whatever they put out there is being accepted, like without any questioning. I don't even know what I'm trying to say to you, but coming back to this ingredient list, when another cosmetic formulator wants to formulate a facial toner like this, not necessarily that they're trying to copy my own ingredient list, or not necessarily that they're trying to do the same thing I'm doing, but the fact that there's an ingredient list with a general blueprint, that's one very important thing. Now, water being in a toner, obviously, water is a good base for cosmetic formulation. Will I say 90% of cosmetic formulations, if I'm not mistaken, are actually water based. So water is one of the most important things. So okay, let's keep that by the side. Rose water. Another cosmetic formulator will choose to use rose water or not. It is not by force. It was just my own hydrosol of choice. You can choose to use lavender hydrosol, chamomile hydrosol. It's just about choices, right? And also cutting corners and cutting costs. Okay, maybe lavender hydrosol might be cheaper than rose water. Maybe chamomile hydrosol might be cheaper than rose water. Maybe caffeine hydrosol might be cheaper than rose water. It just depends, right? When trying to narrow down a particular thing. Another ingredient to look for again is the licorice essence. Okay, now very importantly, sorry if this video is a little bit scattered. Now, after hearing the ingredient list on this facial toner, what comes to mind? Hydration. Obviously, we all know what facial toner does. It lays a good foundation for other actives to be absorbed properly onto the skin. But it tells you that this toner will have or might have maybe a little bit of tyrosinase inhibitor benefits because of the licorice extract. Do you have to use licorice extract? No. You can work with other tyrosinase inhibitor, but the fact that there's a tyrosinase inhibitor in my own product, you might want to work with something else. A tyrosinase inhibitor. I don't know. You see how dopes work. Do you understand? Maybe after this video, I might come up with another video that will give you a heads up when trying to dope a product, which I don't know. Doping is not a crime. I don't know where I've never seen it. I can't remember or seen it anywhere. Doping is not a crime as long as you're not using people's names, you're not using their trademarks. You're doing you. Besides, I don't even know how some people mistake dope for stealing a formula. How? We have the same blueprint. Talking about panthenol, you know very well as a cosmetic formulator that panthenol is a humectant, and there are so many humectants in the market. If you do not want to use panthenol, you have other alternatives. I have vegetable glycerin in it. I have phenoxyethanol as a preservative. If you do not want to use phenoxyethanol, fine, there are other preservatives in the market, so many of them. But basically, I'm just trying to give you a picture of what dopes look like. Dopes go for the core essence. I don't know if now I'm trying to say to you. Now, in this facial toner, we would say that two things are playing a major role here. What are the two things? The licorice extract and the peptides that is there. Looking at the whole ingredient list, yeah, the licorice extract is going to have this high tyrosinase inhibitor benefits owing to the general fact that facial toners are hydrating. I hope what I'm saying is making sense. Now, a peptide in the facial toner tells you that this facial toner is going to help with moisture. Yeah, so it's going to be really hydrating in between. It's going to help the skin retain moisture. And hence the reason why facial toner is a thing for me, to be honest with you. Facial toners, hydrating essences are a thing for me, right? I also have a hydrating toner in my product line, which also contains a terosinase inhibitor above what this facial toner has. So therefore, the hydrating essence will have more lightening ability than the facial toner. So basically, we have a blueprint. We work now. Speaking of those expensive products that could be duped, like there's one now that is on the market that contains Matrizel 3000. I'm not going to call the brand, to be honest with you. And Matrizel 3000 is a very expensive ingredient. It holds a lot of promises. Maybe I'll do a video specifically about Matrizel 3000. To me, honestly, for the longest of time as a cosmetic formulator, since I started formulating cosmetics, I always love to stick with products that have more scientific based evidences than products that just come out boom from nowhere. Well, some people will tell you that Matrizel has not come out from nowhere, but to me, I just feel that the longer the better, right? What does Matrizel 3000 do? It helps with the production of collagen and the retention of collagen, but it is a very, very expensive product. So at this point, I wouldn't say I would be doping a product like that, but basically I would go for options like my vitamin A that will stimulate collagen. You know, one thing for me, I really believe in using ingredients that will actually stimulate the one that your body naturally has. I have nothing against Matrizel 3000. I have followed the journey of some people that use Matrizel 3000, but to me, I see it like an extreme measure for matured skin types. I wouldn't recommend a product with Matrizel 3000 for a younger skin. Will some people want to dope a product with Matrizel 3000? Sure, they will. But I wouldn't be able to place my hand on what other product they will use as a substitute of Matrizel 3000 in order to make it cheap, because there's this association, or there's this link with dope products, like they tend to come out and be cheaper, cheaper version of the originals. But I still see it as something that is relevant, right? But when doping a product, I just still believe that it should be around scientific based formula. Like, it should be grounded. Is that not so? Like I was just stating here clearly, now here in this my formula, I have the retinol in it. I also have vitamin E. Why do I have vitamin E? As an antioxidant, because retinol is an alcohol, in as much as is a vitamin A derivative. You need to put in an antioxidant to help elongate the lifespan, right? Like, basically, I just see, like, it's not all about the doping system. It's all about the chemistry system, that probably you go lower in order to make the products more affordable. Yeah. And aside from that, again, I think accessibility of some products also lead to doping. Like, I remember minimalistic brand in India sort of mimicked the ordinary, because I think at that point the ordinary was not being sent to India. Like, there are some products that are usually not delivered to some particular places, right? Like, even going on Amazon, there are several times that Amazon will tell you will not send down to Nigeria. For whatever reason, I don't know, probably they don't have a budget or logistics for that. So at that time, minimalists doped the ordinary, even almost to the package and said, but that's by the way. So dope sometimes might not necessarily be a downgrade. Dopes sometimes might not necessarily be a copycat-ish. Dopes for me might just be cheaper solutions. Yeah, cheaper solution products. I don't know what dopes mean to you. And like I said, I don't know where some people got that from. Like, dopes more like is it cheapened, or is it? No, it's not. At the end of the day, whatever it is you even end up calling dopes are still cosmetic science, probably with different taste of ingredient, just like I try to explain from some of my products, right? Just with different taste. Like the one of the retinol cream that has vitamin E in it, you can choose to use that's vitamin E, also known as tocopherol. You can also choose to use tocopherol acetate, that is a derivative of vitamin E. right? It still brings you down to the cosmetic science, because at the end of the day, we all pick our blueprints from the same source. All of the niacinamide products is from vitamin B3. Yeah, that's the thing. You can't pick another vitamin and put it and claim it's a niacinamide. Duh, if you know what I'm trying to say to you. So being a dope or not being a dope is still cosmetic science. Yeah, I said firsthand, you will hear some reviewers will tell you dopes for them even gave them what they want more than the original product. And like I said, doping a product is not a crime. And so as long as you stick to the rules and regulations of your formulation as a cosmetic formulator, do not substitute cosmetic ingredients with something dangerous. That's just the truth. Okay, let me end here. I think I've spoken a lot, much about doping and the concept of doping itself. But by the way, it's not like every cosmetics need to be doped. No, at the end of the day, our blueprint is coming from the same source. It's just all about manipulation and picking the right ingredient for the right benefit. Hope to see you in another video. Thank you. And don't forget to drop a comment if you watch to this point. Thank you so much. You're the MVP here for me. Thank you so much. Bye.